What's up, everybody's into the E to the O. You already know is Neil and Basil Microbe into the building. You already know what time it is. Another great episode, movie edition. We are talking about Pinocchio, all the Nokios, okay? So, we're talking about the new Disney movie, Pinocchio, the live action one. Um, and we're gonna talk about it and see what we thought about it. If you've seen it, comment down below, share it, like, subscribe. You already know. Click the notification bell for updates for new videos. All right, Bays, what did you think of this movie?
Well, for starters, it was an okay movie for me personally. It was an okay movie for me. What I liked was, I liked so at least for me, I kind of like the CGI for Pinocchio. I mean, you can't get any realer than that. You know what I mean? I felt like if you used practical effects, it might have looked a little odd. But for me overall, I'm gonna get straight to the point. I gave it a C for this movie. A C. Now, before I get attacked here by people, before I get attacked, I don't know. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of mixed feelings about the movie. So when I finally watched the movie, I can see why. I feel like something was missing in the movie. I don't know what it was, but something felt like it was missing. Tom Hanks, by the way, oof, he looked like he was ready to call it quits in this movie. Like, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Maybe you guys know what I'm talking about, but for me personally, it's a C. It was an okay movie. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. It's literally a C average movie. Honestly, maybe even a movie that could be like a background noise. What about you, Neil?
This man is disrespectful. Get him in the chat, people. Get him in the comment section. Now, for me,
thanks.
I love the movie. I think it was great. I give it a good solid 8 for the overall movie. Pinocchio, the main character, was great. I like how throughout the whole movie you can tell that it's very similar to the animated movie and everything. And I really appreciate that. From what I remember, if you want us to do a review of the animation version of the movie, we'll do that too. All right. But for me, I really like the movie. I love his acting throughout the whole movie. The Blue Fairy, that was fire. I love the look. It wasn't that much singing in it, which was great. But
yeah,
I do
love. Wasn't it supposed to be like?
I do love a good musical number. You know what I'm saying? I think that's, but you can tell like how the animation animators did in the movie was great, showing the emotion for Pinocchio. See him going through this up and down roller coaster of like what my father wants, what I want. Jiminy Cricket supposed to be his conscience, but he did a bad job being his conscience. He wasn't hidden like he should. He was there, and then he was like, "Oh man, I'm trapped in a pickle jar. I'm here, but now I'm trapped on the water." No, man, what is you doing? You messing up, right?
Oh, big time, very big time. I was like, he's fired. I'm like, fire his ass already.
But he did what he had to do. But you could tell that even though Jiminy Cricket was his conscience, his temporary conscience, you can tell throughout the movie that Pinocchio is learning and growing and understanding the world that he's in now. And understanding like, okay, I dealt with this type of person before and this will happen to me. You are similar, I don't trust you. Right? You know what I'm saying? So you can tell that growth because he didn't have Jiminy Cricket to tell him. Jiminy Cricket told him once and he understood it. And then down the line, he was like, I met someone similar. I don't like it. This feels wrong. I don't want to do it. Right. That was his own belief at that point. You know what I'm saying?
But would you say that he would even need Jiminy Cricket at that point? Like, yeah, after he understood, like, okay, once somebody, screws me over, I'm not gonna let it happen again. At that point, he wouldn't need him anymore. If you think about it,
he didn't.
Because at some point,
you can tell in the movie that Jiminy Cricket wasn't as prominent as I thought he would be in the movie.
Yeah.
Based on information that I knew as a child, but
exactly.
I think it was showing like, oh, this perspective of Pinocchio don't need a conscience per se. He is gonna learn. He's gonna grow, right? But now it comes down
Right.
to, okay, he's a real boy, right? Or a halfway real boy. He only needs to be a real boy to one person, which is his father, which is his maker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though he wished upon the star, you feel me, for to have a real son, to make Pinocchio a real boy, you know, I think his characteristics came from his son. Because as you can see,
Exactly.
when the when that star opened that window and shoot that beam to that picture, it reflected onto Pinocchio. So I think, based on Pinocchio character, was pretty much how his son was in everything. You know, you know what I'm saying. So I think it was a little bit of that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, true. But other than that, like, again, aside from Jiminy Cricket, I feel like he was kind of pointless. He was useless at that point after he already told him, because Pinocchio was already gaining. He already knew what was right and what was wrong already, like in the movie without Jiminy Cricket. So he needed no conscience. It was interesting to
No,
see
he
the
didn't
little
know. He didn't
inventions.
know what was right, what was wrong. He was
I
too
feel like he kind of did
he was
though.
too trusting of people. He was
Huh?
too trusting of people who say they was honest. He knows that, oh, if you tell me something, I'm gonna believe you. So you didn't give me any doubt to not believe you. You telling me things, and then I go do something else, and then it doesn't work out, and you told me it wasn't gonna work out. Like how the Fox man was telling her, oh, okay, you could be famous, you could do all these great things. Nobody want to be a nobody. Everybody want to be a somebody. So
Right.
we get that your father wants you to do this, but we want you to do this. Okay, Jiminy Cricket came in, but like, hey, you better go to school. He went to school. He got kicked out because you are not a
Yeah.
real living boy. You are a
That's
living
racist.
um um object or whatever, right?
Right.
And the Fox came and like, look, you tried going to school. They kicked you out on your first day. You wasn't even in there for 10 minutes. They was like, you gotta go, right? And then the Fox
Right.
came and told him, hey, you tried it. It didn't work. Come here. I'm gonna show you. Now, when he went to that when he got kidnapped, right? And he was doing his little number or whatever, right? He only messed up because he failed and he got stuck. If he wouldn't fall in that moment like he did and did his little dance number or whatever, he wouldn't have felt a certain way. He would have been like, "Oh, this is nice. People is laughing. They're having fun. I'm laughing.
Right.
I'm having fun." But since he messed up and people laughing at him and not with him, he was like, "I don't like this. I tried going to school, did not
Yeah.
work. I'm trying to do this, it's not really working, right? I did a little bit
Right.
better, but I'm still not happy."
Right. And then speaking like of Pinocchio, one thing I've noticed that they didn't notice is like, why is nobody else freaking out that this puppet is talking? Like everybody in from what I saw in that world, nobody was like freaked out besides his father that he was walking, talking. You know what I mean? It's like, really? Like if I would have been freaked out if I saw a puppet walking,
But
living
remember
among us.
what the Blue Fairy said, that Pinocchio is made out of pine wood and everything and whatnot. But he looked like a real boy from afar. So you don't know he's not a real boy until he say it. He always tell him, I want to be a real boy. I want to be alive. I want to be a human or whatever. That's when they know he's
Right.
not a real boy. Right? Only people who smart enough and understand like he's a strange looking boy. Why look like he's made out of wood?
But even then though, like when he got in line with those kids when he was going to school, nobody freaked out. No kids freaked out. They just kept on going and whatnot. Same thing when he was captured and he was doing his music number. Like at first I expected like for these people to be like surprised, shocked that this is a real life puppet, and then maybe start proceeding like, okay, they're liking him and whatnot. But again, I was just like, huh. So nobody's really freaked out. Okay. And then this movie is dark. I'm gonna get to the nitty gritty. So for those who've seen the movie, you already know what I'm talking about. I was kind of well. It was more like kind of how do I say? It was dark, especially when he made it to what was the place? Pleasure Island. What was it called?
Something like that.
So
Some.
yeah, so he made it there, and then Jiminy Cricket got there, and these shadow people took the donkeys. It was kind of
No,
sad
they
seeing
would
these
turn the
donkeys fighting
kids
for their
into
lives.
donkeys.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So my question is like, are these like donkeys actual kids? You know,
Yeah.
like who like they were once kids and turned to donkeys, and then they get abducted by a main guy. I was so confused.
So
I was like,
when so
okay,
look when they took Pinocchio, he was like, "Oh, you was outside on the corner. I snatched you up because clearly you didn't want to be at home at this time of day. Something in you didn't want to be at home, right? You couldn't be a kid. So they took him. You can be a kid. You can destroy stuff. You can break things. You can drink whatever. You can eat whatever. You can jump around and yell and jump on the bed and stuff like that. So there's like they thought Pinocchio was like the same thing as those people. The same outlook as those people. So as those kids, but
I know. I still
they
would have been
the
freaked
shadow
out
people
though.
is turning them kids into and then they were gonna sell the donkeys to
Right.
to a breeder or whatever.
Right.
So now they got you thinking. Think about it.
No donkeys.
How
No donkeys
long
were.
had this man been doing this?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
You
say.
think about it. How many kids went missing in this whole movie? I ain't seen no missing wanted sign for no child. Think about it. Now, one child had a missing poster anywhere, or they just living their life. Think about it. Think about it. Think about like when Peter Pan, baby. Think about when Peter Piper Pan, when they got the little flute, right? Say it like this. Think about it like this. Once they take that child and the child turns into donkey, the parents forget they had a kid. Think about it.
Huh.
You don't see
I was thinking about it.
because they only take kids. That man didn't change into a donkey. Now I don't know if it's because if they drunk that root beer and they turned into a donkey, or just being in that environment.
Right.
That environment is magical, and as they laughing and having fun, it changed them into a donkey. I don't know. Tell me down below
Right.
is which one is right or whatever.
No donkeys
So
were harmed no donkeys were harmed during the filming of this movie.
this man is a psycho. So think about it.
What?
What if every time they change them kids into the donkeys, the parents forget they had a kid? So it's not as many kids as it was before. So they were like,
Right.
man, I feel like, why do I have this extra room? Why is this toys in this room? Do I be watching other people kids? Did I have a kid? I don't remember if I have a kid.
But I feel like they would have mentioned that in the movie. Someone in the movie, they would have mentioned it at least if that were the case.
No, it was about Pinocchio. It wasn't about these other kids. They didn't care about these kids. They cared about Pinocchio. I'm just saying. You feel me?
Okay, makes sense.
That's all I'm saying.
Also, there was, at least for me, there was a cameo by a celebrity that also showed up in another Disney film, and that was Luke Evans. Luke Evans played Gaston in the Beauty and the Beast movie. So I was really kind of like surprised to see him back in this, like in another Disney movie, playing like a sadistic asshole.
You know the coolest thing about in the entire movie was the clockmakers clocks.
Yeah.
You saw them clocks from every Disney movie. That's an Easter egg right there. They trying to tell you something.
Yes.
Trying to tell you something.
Like, look at this. He had Enchanted.
Everything. Snow White,
everything.
Enchanted, Maleficent, the Three Little Pigs, all the shit. They had it all. They had it all. They had it all.
Yeah, and he had some quite an adventure. And then, like, from what I know, spoilers, by the way, it's like, apparently, I think in the anime movie, eventually he does become a boy. But in the movie, he stays a puppet. And a lot of people are upset. They're like, yo, why would you change the ending, you know? And, I mean, I think it's so...
No, because remember, the fairy said, once you complete all these three things of what makes a real boy, what makes a good boy, right? You will finally be a real boy. But I think it took the Scoffo, whatever his name is, the clockmaker man,
Right.
to realize Pinocchio is a real boy to me.
Right.
That's all that matters. Pinocchio want to be a real boy for himself, but mostly for his father. So I think at that point, Pinocchio finally truly became a living, breathing, blood pumping, real boy. As they was going through that tunnel, because why that tunnel blue? And why did I see some sparks coming out that sucker? He's going through that tunnel of magic to become a living real boy. Think about it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Think about it.
So what do you think of Tom Hanks' performance? I thought he was mid. Like, I don't know. I guess I felt like his role in the movie was not that important.
He wasn't the main focus of the movie, so it didn't matter. But I think he did a great job throughout the whole acting, throughout his emotion, his energy was there. Everything that I remember from the animated movie, he did. He did the same thing. He was like,
felt like so long ago.
The part that hurt, he was outside with the gold little fish.
Little cat.
You feel me? And the cat in the bag. See, cat in the bag. See, they trying to tell you something. With the goldfish on the side, and he had the hat, then the seagull. Come on now, he was like Pinocchio. I'm trying to tell you, that broke my heart. I was crying. I like Pinocchio. And then, but look, hold up. Remember when the carriage rolled past Gustavo, and then the rock so happened to bust and knock the pickle jar off Jiminy Cricket. I'm like, that ain't no coinky dink. There ain't no coinky dink right there.
I thought it was a kind of winky wink.
That wasn't no coinky dink and link wink. That wasn't no coinky dink and link wink. And y'all know what I'm talking about. They did that on purpose.
I mean, essentially, it's to move the plot. Of course, they did it on purpose. But they could have just kept him in the jar. Like I said, Pinocchio didn't need him no more.
What he could have did was start digging under the glass. They'll lift it up, but that's just me.
What though?
He had an umbrella. He had an umbrella.
You're right.
Come on now. That cricket's strong. He know that. He had a hat too, so he had some tools.
So what would you say your overall rating would be then?
My overall rating for the movie is an 8. Pinocchio, the animation itself, a 10 out of 10. The clockmakers acting overall, a solid 8. The story, I give it a solid 6 for the story.
Yeah.
Because it made sense and it was about Pinocchio, but I feel like it's still some stuff they could have added. For Jiminy Cricket animation alone, 10 out of 10, but his acting, the acting part of him was about a 7 because he wasn't really there that much. But Pinocchio itself is about Pinocchio and everything he did in the animation alone, 10 out of 10. I gotta recommend.
Oh yeah, definitely. And what was that whole?
So overall, the movie was a solid 8, 8.5. It was a good movie.
8.5.
It's a movie that you could watch more than one time and not be bored. In a way, because it's a fun movie. It's like if this came on, you wouldn't be mad type of movie. You know, you would sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
If you walked in and you saw your friend watch, you're like, oh, what's this? The Pinocchio movie. I didn't even sit down and I'll watch it with you. You wouldn't be mad that it's on. Versus like certain other movies you might watch and you're like, I really don't want to watch this. I don't really not feeling this right now. But it's a good solid movie. Overall, I liked it. What about you? What about you?
Again, I gave it a C. By the way, I wonder why they animate the cat. The CGI on the cat was a little off, but why can't they just use the real cat? I feel like they used the real cat. It would be a lot more.
I think it'd been harder if the cat wasn't trained to do certain things. I think it was just easier to just.
Okay, like if it was real cat, yeah, you're right about that.
I think they didn't really. The cat wasn't important. You know, the goldfish didn't do much. at all.
Goldfish was just a goldfish.
The goldfish was there. It was just like, we're going to animate this goldfish, put it in this water, whoop the whoop, is there. You know? I thought the goldfish should have talked. At some point, I felt like once Pinocchio changed into the animated object, he could talk to Jiminy Cricket. Could he talk to the seagull? He should be able to talk to the fish and the cat. Because he's not a real boy yet. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That makes sense. Well, other than that, like, if you guys like the movie, that's pretty good. That's great. If y'all didn't like it, that's okay too. You know, it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah. Anyway, times is up, people. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Let us know if you liked the movie, if you didn't like the movie. Did you see the other Pinocchio movie on Netflix? Or do you prefer this one more? Let us know down in the comments. Peace.